Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Erik Voss, and Spider-Man Far From Home screened an exclusive extended edition featuring several deleted scenes that were removed from the film. I guess that's what a deleted scene is. I gotta say, Sony picked a hell of a week to ask diehard Marvel fans for more money. But hey, this is also probably our last chance to see an MCU Peter Parker on the big screen for a while, at least until Disney egos everything into its monopolistic blob. So I'm gonna quickly break down this new footage that was included in the extended cut and how it changed the overall experience of the movie. Spoiler warning if you haven't seen Far From Home yet, or if you just don't want to know this stuff. And yeah, I'm on a different set because we are actually currently moving, and it's actually going to help us bring some new exciting stuff to you guys. And for the first time ever, I got to taste that sweet, sweet flavor of real fresh air outside of the blue dungeon that I had been locked in. Okay, as you may already know, the deleted scenes show the removed New York montage that the filmmaking team mentioned shortly after the film came out. So while the movie's theatrical cut jumps straight from Peter and Ned strategizing their MJ plan in the classroom to Aunt May's charity event, the extended cut shows all the stuff in between, the errands that Peter Parker has to do before he leaves. We actually saw some of this in trailers for the movie. It includes Peter going to the post office to get his passport. We see him using a robotic spider to sneak over, crawl under the closed window, flip the switch so that it's open, so that he won't have to wait in a long line. Peter also reunites with Mr. Delmar in the bodega from the first movie. He's picking up some toiletries, a European wall outlet adapter, and he tries to order a dual headphone adapter in broken Spanish that Mr. Delmar calls him out on. There's also another scene that we knew about in which Peter trades in a bunch of his action figures at a pawn shop, including some He-Man ones, and at the last second he says, actually, can I keep the Lobot? Lobot is the guy from Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back, Lando Calrissian's right-hand man. I did a whole other video about what this scene would be. And then there's the other trailer sequence in which Peter beats up a bunch of members of the Manfredi crime family in a restaurant. The Manfredis are a reference to Silvio Manfredi, one of the lesser-known Spidey villains, Silvermane. Always love showing that guy in a video. So all the action here is really well choreographed, and with the Iron Spider armor in this street-level scenario, Peter is pretty much in God mode. The only thing I wasn't crazy about was the dialogue. Like, Peter makes a bunch of corny one-liners. All right, I'm gonna give this place 1 star. Fresh ground pepper? That's it. I'm definitely not gonna give you a 20% tip. And yeah, these are exactly the kind of jokes Peter Parker has always made, but they just don't come with that pathetic self-awareness that this MCU Spider-Man has always had. Like, this Peter's jokes don't always land, or if they do land, it immediately follows with him getting knocked on his ass. I do understand wanting to see Peter Parker's Iron Spider suit in action in his everyday crime fighting, as opposed to, like fighting apocalyptic threats over and over again. A nerdy kid like him probably would want to take this out for a few spins, but I also understand why the filmmakers cut this sequence. Like, it's just a bit odd for Peter to be immediately joyriding in this armor while we are still feeling a bit depressed over Tony Stark's death. So really it makes more sense to jump ahead to the scene in which Peter is forced to reflect on his relationship with his old Papa Stark. And overall, we don't need to spend this much time in New York when the main narrative of Far From Home takes Peter far from home, where he runs into Mysterio and Nick Fury. And by the way, during this rewatch, you start to notice all kinds of hidden sightings of Quentin Beck and his whole team. Like, not just that early Gyllenhaal cameo that we spotted right after the movie came out, but a number of others on the team who bumped shoulders with Peter, including Guterman. It's actually kind of creepy how intensely these adults were stalking Peter throughout Venice. And one more detail that's worth noting in this deleted footage: before Peter runs his errands, there's a shot of him walking and talking with Ned in his high school hallway as all the other students are celebrating this last day of school. And there's a shot of Flash Thompson emptying his locker, dumping a bunch of crumbled garbage into the bin, and then he turns to give Peter and Ned the dullest or saddest look as they pass him. Maybe Flash is just reacting blankly to hearing Peter talk about getting his passport and thinking to himself, wait, my passport says I'm 5 years older than I am. Maybe I'll be able to drink on the airplane. Or this could be the first of many sad cries for help from Flash Thompson throughout Far From Home. Parents who won't return his texts, or at the end of the film, won't pick him up from the airport. And now we get to see Flash throw away a metaphor for his crumbled soul. So why do we get these lonely little flashes? I have offered a number of theories for what this could mean for the third Spider-Man film, like a Flash Thompson-Venom connection. Maybe his mother works for the Life Foundation, or maybe Flash Thompson goes on to play some kind of Harry Osborn type role, or maybe it's just that Flash's loneliness could end up bringing him closer with Peter in this next Spider-Man film, in which it looks like Peter will become a pariah and would need to lean on some friend who wasn't previously a known associate, or, Flash is just a major a-hole and Far From Home loves to remind us of his hollow core every moment it can. Would you have preferred if these scenes were left in Far From Home? Comment down below with your thoughts. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at EAVoss, and subscribe to New Rockstars for more breakdowns of everything Marvel. Thank you for joining me. And if Sony really wanted fans back in the theater to rewatch Far From Home, they could just make like an extended edition that's really just like a whole another film of Spider-Man still in the MCU. Just a suggestion.